maturations, it seems like just got here yesterday, so what are we going to see different about you possibly this year, do you feel?
Senior year, get some new things up my sleeve that I'm ready to show the world. So the team doesn't like the new things that I've created, so hopefully opponents don't either.
You going to be a little more specific on that, or just wait and see?
Not yet. Wait and see.
Okay.
How are you trying to go about adding new stuff to your game, or working through it with coach where, like, I'm adding new stuff, I'm adding new layers, but I'm also, like, not trying to do too much to where it's like, I want to be able to be doing well at the things that I'm adding. How do you kind of work through that?
Usually we just mirror the new things off of what I threw last year, so what I'm good at, what's consistent, and just add to it in different dimensions.
So when you looked at your game last year, I'm sure in the offseason, because I know Coach always gives you guys, each of you, a new thing to do or whatever. What did you not like about, or what did you want to change?
Maybe hitting my spots and up in the zone, getting the rise ball to be up in the zone where it needs to be, and then change of speeds. It's huge.
What about last year at this time? You were kind of an unknown. Then you hit the big, preseason or whatever. So how do you feel like now you're one of the 100? How does that, so to speak, because you're going to be on the scouting reports all the time, whatever. So where do you feel your game is at? How do you handle that?
I feel good. I mean, obviously last year, I felt like it was pretty obvious, what my strength was. Obviously, I hit a lot of stuff opposite field. And then a little later in the season, I kind of hit, a struggle point, just, getting pitched differently and stuff. So now, I have a better understanding of, what I need to do, and I've kind of, strengthened my weaknesses, if that makes sense.
Emily, how do you feel about what you guys have done in the offseason and just how the circle as a whole and the pitching staff is like right now?
We have multiple dimensions now, multiple arms. It's not just me anymore, which makes it a lot harder to scout us, and I'm excited to see what we look like against a different team.
To that, how excited are you to play a different team, considering y'all continue to scrimmage yourselves? I know it gets to be daunting.
No, yeah, we're excited. I mean, we're sick of facing each other.
Yeah.
We've scrimmaged, I don't even know how many times, but especially last week, we're just itching to play a new team, so we're excited for this week.
What about for either player? What about the expectations? Is it a different vibe when you reported, or I guess you never almost leave anymore, but just about going into the season, is there a different vibe? Do you feel a different expectation for either one of you?
Not really. I mean, obviously, the preseason rankings and stuff, we were, in the top 10 for most of it, but we kind of just talk about, that doesn't matter. We haven't played any games yet. I mean, it's cool to be recognized there, but it doesn't mean anything until we start playing.
What about some of the new players, off the top of your head? Who's going to impress us? Who's going to be one of the first people to come in, possibly interview room? Who do you ladies like, each of you? Got a couple favorites, or who's a couple jump out for each of you?
I think Sydney Peters is going to be a big one this year. When she's on, and it's just trying to get that girl confidence. And when she's in the circle, she's hard to hit.
Yeah, I think Sydney Peters, Sydney Lessentine also, freshman pitcher. Ojo will be good for us in the lineup and behind the plate. Mac, obviously. Grace Sparks. Yeah, those jumped to the top of my head.
You guys have a tough non-conference schedule. It starts this weekend. You had a Baylor coming in the first weekend. Just kind of, do you like the knowing that you've got those kind of games ahead of you?
Yeah, I mean, it excites me just because I think it'll be a good test, especially early on in the season, just to see what we look like against those type of teams. So.
Right out of the gate, you guys have, it seems like, even more maybe depth at the plate than you did last year, potentially. How does that, during the off season, I guess, kind of elevate everybody's competition level, just everybody trying to compete to get their bat in the lineup?
It is interesting, like you said, just because I think our lineup is so different than it was last year. I mean, last year we lost Julia, Jazz, Rylan, Trin, all of those big bats. So this year is definitely different. And everyone, like you said, competing for a spot just makes everyone better. Just trying to learn from someone older like Mac. It's helpful for the younger girls and just everyone that's here.
Allie, you guys hit a lot of home runs last year, so what kind of offense are we going to see? Anything a little different this year? What do you think the offense is going to look like?
I think we're going to still have power, obviously, bringing in Mac. I think Maya's going to have a big season. Obviously, hopefully I hit a couple. Yeah, so I think we're still going to have the power, and then we also have, the speed piece, KP, Coco, and then, base-to-base, Kramer and things like that. So I think it's going to be – I mean, I don't know. I still think we're going to hit a lot of home runs, but maybe – I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But
Emily, Coach said a lot of different additions to the staff that kind of complement what you do. Just how do you feel like that's been, and especially now that you're a senior, just trying to get the rest of the group to know what's going on, especially freshmen and transfers?
It's been a little difficult, I'm gonna be honest. There's so many new, like, it's just me and Lev are the only basically like senior ones in the bullpen, and it's just me and Coach Ford sit down and talk, and we're just like, you were so different this year that you can mirror almost everybody. So just remembering, like, if I go in after Grace, what do I have to throw, and just being specific in like my plan for each game.
Do you know, like anyone on Baylor's team, or have any connections over there?
We know quite a few from like the team, and I remember back when we played them my sophomore year, and the team's about almost the same. So.
What is it like, I mean, having a team kind of so close and, you know, both ranked to be able to host them?
It's going to be a good opening weekend. I think it's going to show that, like, what we have and what they have, and it's, like, what softball is going to look like this season and prepare us to go to Clearwater.
When you had that game 2 years ago against Baylor, no-hitter, I think, well, I know you had no-hitter. I don't know if that was your only game you pitched the series, but was that like a decent, not like validation moment, but like a I don't want to overstate a turning point, but was that a pretty big moment for you in terms of like feeling like you were coming into your own of being like an elite pitcher and you could do that on a consistent basis?
I think it definitely showed it. Like, my sophomore year wasn't really that best of a year in my opinion, but it was still a really good year. But, like, that no-hitter was like, okay, yeah, I can do it. And then, like, I know Baylor probably doesn't want to see me again, but I'm excited to see Baylor again.
Any personal goals, Emily, at all last year then? You know,
I mean, I was always strive to be an All-American, maybe even, like, National Player of the Year. Just, like, give everything I have and have the best year I can.
How about you, Allie, any goals, personal goals?
Oklahoma City. That's the only thing in my brain.